We're back with Umineko.
Hey,
Um, hopefully my voice isn't too fucked up.
it sounds perfect.
Alright, perfect.
Sorry.
Um, we're recording this after the previous day. As of recording this, I recorded Homestuck, and if you want to see how large the backlog of Umineko is, this is definitely going to come out way after these the videos recorded during this recording session. Um, I had to explain the entirety of Troll Romance twice, and the second time I was none too pleased
Why?
because I had to read the entire thing all over again. It wasn't like a
Homestuck or the troll romance thing?
the troll romance thing. It was
Okay.
legit the entire first explanation, just again.
I'm glad I didn't have to read Homestuck to have that explained to me.
Uh, I have already forgotten all of it. And now on to
Which one would
something
you say we are?
I don't fucking know. I just said I forgot all of it.
That's so sad. You have to relearn it so
No!
you can tell me which one you think we are.
You go ahead, ask Danny. He'll probably he'll instantly say it.
Okay.
Go ahead, text Danny right now. Actually, so you could just be like, "All right, this is what Danny said."
Actually going to the way.
Okay. In the meantime, we'll just start off with Umineko, which I think we might be ending episode 2 today. I know
Hope so.
we're very near close to the end. After they flew out of the room, Genji quietly stretched his hand out to the side of the chessboard. He softly pulled something there towards himself, covering it with his palm. Genji killed his breathing even more than before. As he did, something flashed gold. From inside an ice pail set on the counter, a small gold butterfly appeared, softly and silently. It was almost as though it had seen George and the rest off, and was trying to secretly chase after them. It happened in an instant. The elegant gold butterfly, flapping its wings, was pinned against the wall by the knife Genji threw, just like a butterfly in a bug collection. After the gold butterfly beat its wings several times, looking like it was in pain, it accepted the fact that it couldn't break free, became fine gold powder and smoke, and disappeared as though it had melted into water. Because Genji's just fucking sick like that. Genji still gazed down at the chessboard as though nothing had happened. Maybe he would think up a brilliant move very soon. But no matter what move he made, his opponent would not be able to respond for all eternity. Even though he knew that, Genji searched for a brilliant move. It must have been the perfect way to kill time during the short period before some fate would be given to him. He didn't know what result the roulette would bring about, but that decision would be made very soon. No one could interfere with the tumbling roulette ball. The door to the parlor was not only locked but blocked with a barricade made of sofas and the like. Because of that, Aunt Rosa seemed to suspect that any suspicious person approaching would break in through the window. Sitting on a one-person sofa, her back to the door, she continued to hold onto her gun. I didn't know what was what anymore. And even though my body and mind were worn out, I played with Maria. as she wanted. Maria had said it. Beatrice was testing us to see if we could solve the epitaph of the gold, so we had to try and figure out this riddle. In the beginning, I was a little interested and tried to solve it, but I didn't even have a clue where to start in this weird text. I didn't doubt that there was some riddle hidden there, but I seriously doubted I'd be able to suddenly leap to an answer. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Is the beloved hometown, is this Kinzo's beloved hometown or Beatrice's?
It's Kinzo.
Okay. I had a feeling, but I was like, wait, maybe I just was thinking about it the wrong way. Okay, but alright. I thought it was Kinzo, but I wanted to make sure. In the middle part of the epitaph, there were the lines going from the first to the 10th twilight, telling us to journey to the Golden Land. On the first twilight, offer the 6 chosen by the keys as sacrifices. On the second twilight, those who remain shall tear apart the 2 who are close. It was obvious that this hinted at the first 6 murders that had already occurred in the chapel and Jessica and Kanekune's murders. If this was being followed, we still had to prepare for 5 more people to be killed. On the 4th twilight, gouge the head and kill. On the 5th twilight, gouge the chest and kill. On the 6th twilight, gouge the stomach and kill. On the 7th twilight, gouge the knee and kill. On the 8th twilight, gouge the leg and kill. Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa Bachan's corpses still haven't been found. However, if this follows the pattern and there's sacrifices for the 4th and 5th twilights, they'll surely be found in a pitiful state, with their head and chest gouged. So, can we expect that 3 more of us will be gouged in the stomach, knee, and leg and killed? Who will it be? I looked around the room, noticing that there were 3 people here, but how should I put it? My emotions seemed paralyzed. Strangely, I didn't feel frightened. As I leaned against the sofa with the top part of my body, gazing up at the ceiling, Maria noticed. Apparently, she felt I was slacking off in my riddle solving. She got mad at me for not taking this seriously enough. Hey, Maria. What was it again that Beatrice said she'd do if we solved this? I'm sure the witch wrote in her letter that she'd give up on collecting interest or something abstract like that. I optimistically took that to mean she'd give up on killing the whole family. But was it really written with that meaning? For some reason, I couldn't convince myself that solving the riddle would really save me. I feel like maybe, even if we do solve it, we'll just be doing what the culprit wants, and it'll all be a wasted effort.
Oh, true. If you solve the epitaph, spiritual ceremony will end. After that, people will die.
Really? Isn't that rule just something she made up? Whoever solves this riddle will probably learn the location of grandfather's hidden gold. Then she'll definitely go after it and...
You won't go after it.
How can you be so sure?
Gold has been Beatrice's from the beginning. She wouldn't go something that's hers.
Look at Maria, she's pissed. Then why is Beatrice giving us all these big hints? Not just that, why did she even set up this game-like thing?
Risk is essential for magic.
Risk. I don't really know what you mean.
For example, in a marathon, the medal anyone can get running the whole thing is worth the same as a medal given only the person who gets first.
No, I don't. So what does this mean? In the end, she's just playing with us? Purposely giving us a chance?
Wrong. That's how magic works. No matter how great a work of magic is, always have risks and weak points. No, it must have them.
I don't get the stuff you call magic, but if I think about it as a gamble, I can understand a little. If you aren't prepared to lose big, then you can't win big. And the slimmer the chances of winning, the bigger the payoff.
That's right. Beato really did explain the risk of the ceremony to everyone. If this riddle is solved, the ceremony will be suspended. After all, if she breaks her promises, there wouldn't be any risk.
If we solve this, will she really keep her promise?
Fire flower is beautiful, even though they wither. Why is it that an artificial flower isn't beautiful? No matter how elaborate it is, even when you can't tell the difference by looking. Humans can bring about miracles by gambling on their deaths. If an undying human existed, they'd have no way about bringing about a miracle. That goes for us, life, witch, and the ceremony too. If there are risks, we can't succeed in anything.
Battler's just like, gotta be honest, Maria, this sounds like shitty magic.
So rude.
What do we do if we solve the riddle? Should we raise a hand and cry, I got it! Tell the witch our answer and see what she says?
Well, I don't know about that. If we solve it, the ceremony will surely end automatically.
I feel like Battler would be like such a pain in the ass winner.
Yeah.
Like he's just like I got it! This is where the goal is! Get fucked, bitch! Just like really rubbing it in Beatrice's face. I'm saying that because that's exactly what I would do.
Yeah.
You sure know a lot, Maria. Did you learn all that from Beatrice? No, I learned it from Matt Pat. What?
Ugh.
So, if you don't bear risk, nothing can be gained. Oh god, I just saw Danny start texting our group chat, thinking about it. That's terrifying to see. If you don't bear risk, nothing can be gained, is that it? That definitely is the way of the world, but it's sort of in conflict with the chessboard thinking I like so much. At least when making moves in chess, players grope for the best move, always trying to avoid risk and hoping for an advantageous turn of events. They don't trust to chance, like in gambling. That's right, there's no room for gambling in an intellectual game. And yet, this person called Beatrice has created such an outrageous crime, or maybe a ceremony, while purposely imposing conditions for her own loss and announcing them to us. In chess, you always play your best move. So by putting yourself in your opponent's position, you can predict their next move. However, we can't be sure that Beatrice's moves are always the best moves possible. I thought she was probably making us focus on the epitaph to fool us in some way, speaking in riddles. But according to Maria, that alone was impossible. She said this was a genuine risk that the witch had taken, and therefore proof that this was a formal ceremony for magic. I can't understand this witch called Beatrice. If she's committing this chain of murders with some goal in mind, why did she go to all the trouble of exposing the conditions for her defeat? No matter how I spin the chessboard around and think from my opponent's perspective, I can't understand why she'd give up if this riddle is solved. Isn't it almost as though Beatrice doesn't care whether she wins or loses? Of course, chessboard reasoning won't work against an opponent like that. I don't understand. What is Beatrice after that's making her carry out this crime? If she just wanted to massacre us all, she could have done it quietly without this whole crazy setup. There was no need for that kind-hearted advance notice, all this self-aware closed room stuff, or any of the rest. It's all overacting. I've got no clue what it means. Will I be unable to understand everything as long as I keep thinking of Beatrice as a greedy human culprit? If I don't accept her as a witch, will my chessboard thinking be stuck before I've even lined up the pieces? If she really is a witch and everything Maria said is true, then there's only one thing for us to do. The theory building and discord and searching for the culprit has all been pointless. We should have all gathered in the dining hall, combining our knowledge to solve the riddle. By combining the knowledge of that many people, we might have been able to grasp at least a thread of the answer. The greedy humans, each desiring to gain something over their opponents, were getting offered up as sacrifices one by one without gathering their knowledge together. In the end, did the humans get what they deserved? They thought they were using their brains, but they were actually thinking only of their greedy selves. In the end, chessboard theory is a thinking technique where you project yourself on your opponent, so greedy people see their greedy selves inside their opponents. I looked lazily at Aunt Rosa. She was probably tired from being under all this tension the whole time. She couldn't sleep, but she kept staring vaguely at some point off in space. Aunt Rosa had announced that we couldn't trust anyone who hadn't been killed. Aunt Rosa's chessboard thinking saw herself inside her opponent. In other words, maybe Aunt Rosa was an isolated woman, unable to trust anyone and unable to let her guard down. Long ago, I think I heard a bit about it from my dad. Aunt Rosa was originally a very obedient child, but her age was too far separated from the other siblings, and they often made conflicting demands of her during their confrontations. Thanks to this, she'd undergone a lot of psychologically harsh experiences in her youth. Often, when she copied one of her siblings, another sibling would give her a hard time. True, Aunt Rosa said many things today that could be taken as abusive, but that means those words were once showered upon her, which is why they were engraved in her vocabulary. The many abusive words that she's spoken were also words that she'd been showered with in the past. Now that I think about it, I've had the feeling that her style of speech sometimes has traces of Uncle Kraus or Aunt Ava in it. I'd understood it as them being similar because they were siblings. But maybe it wasn't just that. For the first time, I truly sympathized with Aunt Rosa, whom I'd always assumed was just quiet and gentle. Then what about Maria? Maria's been making a certain claim for a while now. If we can solve the riddle, the witch displayed to us, that ceremony will be halted and will definitely be saved. And I think she also said that Beatrice will never break a promise. But this is Maria we're talking about. She herself never breaks promises, and she has the most innocent heart. So she believes Beatrice also won't break her promises. She's able to believe that. But isn't that just an image of Beatrice in Maria's mind? There's no proof that the real Beatrice always keeps her promises, right?
Keep my promises. If you solve the riddle of the epitaph, you should be able to reach the Golden Land. If you do, the ceremony will end. No more people will die.
So you're saying a complete monster like you follows the rules?
I'll deny that I am brutal and unjust and a monster. However, I am a witch. I use magic. To use magic, there are some rules that must be followed. Because I'm a witch, I cannot neglect those. I believe at least that much.
So even after all the crazy stuff you've done, you're still telling me to believe at least in the rules?
do play tricks. Of course, I also deceive people. No different from humans in that regard. Not once have I disregarded a promise I've spoken. About humans, always keep your promises.
Since we have catchphrases like keep your promises, it's hard to imagine that we always follow them properly.
From my perspective, humans are the truly selfish monsters.
From my perspective, the Jedi are evil.
Nothing as dubious as a human's promise.
It's over, Battler. I have the high ground.
I'm going to beat you to death. But also, I've read this before and you haven't. Oh. I sometimes make contracts with humans, but you wouldn't imagine how strict an agreement must be made to grant a single foolish wish. If there's even a small loophole, they'll immediately say something like, increase the number of wishes to 100, or turn yourself into a being.
Like you wouldn't do something like that with a loophole? There's a thing
I
Dad
would try
always...
it, I guess.
Yeah. There's a thing Dad always says. He says there's nothing as scary as contracts. According to him, it's only natural that people who sign without reading them thoroughly will get chewed to the bone. He's made a killing through vice.
Imagine it. People are born. They know nothing of fraud. Get it from somewhere. And so they learn it. Yes, the crimes of the human world all must press up against each other. Let me see, I've heard that from a witch somewhere. Well, I'm not as heartless as you think, you see?
I'm not as heartless as you think, evil laugh.
That's
Liar!
just how she laughs.
You killed so many people! And you did it in such horrible ways, too! How could you not be heartless? You say you keep your promises? Don't say stuff like that! I won't accept you! Ever! I believe my only way to resist you is never giving up on that.
I see. You're saying this eternal torture will be the same for me. Perhaps 1,000 years is a long time.
And it's not eternity, bitch. Buckle up.
Maybe a witch's true strength is decided not by their magical power, by the strength of their endurance. Yes, I can accept how terrifying Lady Byrne is.
Dude. I just looked at the group chat. Oh my god. Do you have a Sonic and Shadow type rivalry? Not that kind of rivalry, I think. What the fuck?
Well, yeah, I don't think we're like that. Are we?
I don't think. I know. I'm going through it, man. I'm still recovering. Damn you, babbling on and on about this incomprehensible stuff. Let's quickly get back to this eternal torture. I'm prepared to stick around for 1,000 years or even 10,000 years.
Good, good. Looks like you've regained some of your will to fight. It would be boring otherwise. Now, don't you often see it in competitive games? Sometimes one player intrudes on their opponent's territory. The opponent is so weak that it's a bit of an anticlimax. So who loses on purpose to extend a game until the last round, in which they get serious and shower their opponent with blows, right?
I don't get what that means.
Same as wine. If you don't let it age well, it won't sparkle. Or the same as that wine. Carefully make you age. Is you to be the best alcohol to adorn my elegant time. Don't give up after only this much. Keep on denying me. After all, as long as you don't accept me, I'm nothing more than a fleeting illusion.
No matter how many times I see it, it's awful. Rena?
I didn't realize I was muted. I truly sympathize. Son, get the key. Please, key. And though she is dead, Madam is a lady. I touch her. Of course.
Shannon nodded sharply, her expression filled with a sense of duty. George, Goda, and Shannon had broken a suitable window and were inside the chapel. Since they really hadn't wanted to break one, they'd searched for another way in just in case. But in the end, after proving once again there was nowhere they could slip in through, it only became more obvious that this chapel was a mysterious closed room. Inside the chapel, time had stopped ever since the last time they'd left it. Even George wasn't able to approach that gruesome Halloween party again. It was only natural. It reminded him again of the sadness of losing both parents at once. And Goda, thinking of the possibility that those corpses might have changed in some horrible way now that half a day has passed, didn't want to let George get near them. So they let the child go through. They let the minor go over there. Shannon followed Goda's instructions and approached the party table. Normally, Shannon might have resented having another dirty job forced on her, but now she could truly understand Goda's mental state. Even though Goda had prodigious skill, he'd gotten dragged into trouble, losing his job and ending up left out in the streets, before Natsuhi gave him a new life. Though it had been just a casual employment decision for Natsuhi, Goda must have thought it a turning point in his fate. Those around Goda could see that he felt a special kind of loyalty to Natsuhi, so he probably didn't want to lose that feeling even after her death. Now that half a day had passed, the bodies of Natsuhi and the rest had changed completely. Small bugs sniffing out the smell of death had started to gather. It really wasn't something you'd want to look at directly.
Excuse me.
Because of her long experience as a servant, Shannon had an idea of which pocket Natsuhi kept the key to her room in. It would probably be this pocket. Her guess didn't fail her. Just by touching the outside of the pocket, she was immediately able to feel it.
Here. Madam's room.
Shannon held the key up high, showing the others that it had been found. As George and Goda watched her, their eyes opened wide. That wasn't the expression Shannon was expecting, so it startled her. Oh, fuck! After all, Shannon hadn't noticed. George and Goda, watching from afar, noticed it first. After all, when Shannon held the key up high, a blizzard of gold leaf had seeped up from around the table. They were countless gold butterflies. It was the first time George had seen them, so it might have looked like some kind of illusion. but Goda already knew. He knew that those gold butterflies were far from beautiful, and that they would bring about some kind of misfortune. And that gold swelled, trying to suck Shannon in.
On, son. Run. Huh?
Shannon also realized that gold butterflies were trying to swallow her up. She ran unsteadily, her expression still shocked. As she did, the gold butterflies danced around her all at once. They grouped together, they tried to swallow her up. Shannon! Damn it, what is this? Are these the gold butterflies you guys were talking about?
Outside, quickly, you bastards. Damn it.
George and Goda rushed up to Shannon, driving off the cloud of butterflies. And while the butterflies were scattered, they ran towards the broken window. However, they needed a good footing to get out the window, which was surrounded by shards of broken glass. When they'd entered, there had been enough time to prepare for that, but now there was none. Let's go out through the door! There's no time to look for a footing!
Open. Stuck.
Give it to me! Damn this piece of crap! Ugh!
Emma, quickly. Don't take me lightly. Whoa.
Homie's fist fighting some butterflies.
He's losing the fight.
Goda took off his jacket, swinging it around and scattering the group of butterflies. But saying he was outnumbered would be a real understatement. It was doubtful that he even bought them a short amount of time. George struggled with the broken handle. Its age showed, and it didn't turn well. I can't leave it to strength. It needs the right angle, or there's some trick to it.
George-sama, damn it. You monsters. Monsters, they're just butterflies.
At that moment, Goda saw it. He was seen by it. In other words, their eyes met. On top of the party table. No, with the stained glass behind it, floating, laughing, was the figure of the witch. He saw the figure of the laughing witch in the center of the golden whirlwind, with the gold butterflies fluttering about at the ready.
Did he share?
It should have been Goda's first meeting with her, but he knew her at a glance. Just like the other servants had said, this was certainly the witch of the portrait herself.
It's almost time for dinner, is it not? The host of this mansion now. I must give you a warm reception before your wonderful dinner. Look, we even have 3 people to order. My, how truly, truly convenient. Ah.
Get fucked, bitch, I opened the door. It's open! Peace!
Son, we... Sama.
Huh?
This song goes so hard.
It does.
Turning up my volume just for this. Are you sure it's a good idea to just stand there? Do you think this place will make a fitting cemetery for your souls? Then be my guest. I must praise your spirit for wanting to stay by your former master's sides and serve them even after death.
The golden whirlwind that wrapped around the witch burst. It was like an evil hand had literally spread its fingers and was trying to attack them. The cloud of gold butterflies attacked with a fluttering sound. Hurry! We can't stay here! George's voice brought Shannon and Goda back to their senses. Standing here now would make them like frogs getting stared down by a snake. They had to resist. They had to fight this incarnation of the new brutal and frightening order in which Rokkenjima had been enveloped. There was no time to take out their umbrellas. The three of them dashed out into the pouring rain. The three of them never realized because they didn't turn around. But the gold butterflies apparently couldn't handle the rain too well, and this hampered their ability to chase after the humans. The three people ran from their golden pursuers and flew into the mansion.
How nice, how nice. Wouldn't be as fun any other way.
They unlocked the door and dashed into the room. A bit of the scent from Natsui's favorite gentle incense remained in there. However, there was no time to let that calm them now. Where the fuck is it? You said it was in a treasure box, right?
Just a story I heard. I heard exactly where it was.
They'll probably be in her dresser or next to the bed.
Shannon's womanly sensibilities led her to conclude that, alright? But next to the bed, there was only an incense burner, a half-read novel, and glasses. However, the dresser was elegant and had many drawers, and it would be understandable if she kept some of her valuables there. Natsu, sorry! He began to violently open each one of the drawers. He had to hurry. He couldn't actually hear footsteps, but he had the feeling that the witch was approaching. He had the feeling that her laugh was approaching. He emptied the drawers one by one and examined their contents. Every small box for makeup looked like a treasure box, and the amount of effort it would take to inspect all of them made him feel a little dizzy.
Maybe it's this box. It's locked and I can't open it.
At a glance, it looked slightly larger than a music box. When shaken, it rustled as though very small objects were inside. But it was locked and didn't open. And as we all know, you need to use a key to open locks. There's no other way!
You'd hide the key somewhere nearby. Some people would always carry it on their person. I don't know.
Well, looks like we have to go back to Natsui's body and see if she has the key. There's no choice. Break it! We can't do it with force, but we can't do it with force, right? We might break the mirror inside. Could there be a tool to pry it open?
Gently.
Damn it! Goda looked all at the room, trying to see if there was some tool that they could use. And he noticed the door, which had been left open ever since they'd entered. He'd approached the door to close it, and saw the abominable shadows of people approaching from beyond the darkness in the hall. No, it wasn't shadows of people, because they weren't human at all!
George-sama. Hurry.
Goda's voice trailed off. It was the shock of seeing a procession of those not of this world. He was a servant, so he knew all the servants working for the Ushinomiya family. But he didn't know about these. However, they were definitely servants, and not servants working for Ushinomiya Kinzo or Ushinomiya Kraus. These new servants who worked for the new master of the mansion, the Golden Witch Beatrice, had goat heads and bright red boiled eyes of lava. As the new master laughed loudly and trimly directed 6 of the new servants, he saw them approach, piercing the darkness as they came. Of course, she was clad in the gold butterflies that were her symbol. Goda hurriedly closed the door and locked it. However, just as they locked it, it returned back to normal, just as though a spring or something had knocked it back. It gave the illusion that some prankster beyond the door was unlocking it every time he locked it. They couldn't have reached the other side of the door yet. So who was doing it, and how? It almost felt like playing with a broken toy. Click, boing. Click, boing.
Won't lock. Even if I lock it, it unlocks. Oh my god, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Do you think a lock would stop me? Do you think the door to that room could hold back that room's new master?
It was like the witch could see Goda's frantic effort through the door. Even now, the footsteps continued to approach, and when not just their footsteps, but even their breath could be heard, Goda gave up on the lock and slammed in the door, locking it using his own large body.
Sama, quickly, quickly, quickly. Sama, what about this?
A letter opener? That's better, let me have it! The fountain pen isn't working! George took it and once again dug into the crack under the lid of the treasure box. It looks like it's working!
Quickly, quickly. Ah.
The pressure from across the door grew even stronger. Goda screamed. This wasn't a war cry during a test of strength. He was terrified. He was simply terrified that nothing but a single wooden door was stopping him from touching something not of this world. But he was still lucky. He wasn't touching the things directly. Because they were on the other side of the door. So if he were to touch them directly, Goda's cry would surely turn from something brave into a pathetic piercing scream. And therefore one that was more real. He couldn't believe what was happening right before his eyes. Coming through the door, an arm was slipping straight through the wood like it was water, as though doing this was the most natural thing in the world. And it rubbed the back of Goda's hand as he frantically tried to hold the door shut. It slid up his arm, to his chest, and then up to his chin. By now, Goda's scream wasn't even audible anymore. He could hear a sweet whispering voice from across the door. It wasn't coming from the witch, but it sounded like a young woman. However, that didn't change the fact that it came from someone not of this world. So cute! Hey, you see it, right? Your life flashing before your eyes? Let me know when it's over, Kay?
I don't know why. I can't stop laughing.
Thanks! It's over already, isn't it? What the fuck? That lewd arm burst. I guess. And then they heard the sound of something jumping around the room at an incredible speed. They didn't know what it was. Incredibly fast, small, like steel, or maybe a beetle. When it buried itself right in the center of Goda's chest and stopped. They realized for the first time that its true form was something like a stake with a strange design on it. Goda's large body shook, bent backwards, and fell over. As it did, the door opened softly, even though no one was pushing it, welcoming in the new master of this room. It looked almost as though the door itself had accepted her. The goat attendants came in one after another, 6 of them. Then that witch came in, and the gold butterflies came in. The room was wrapped in a blizzard of gold leaf which fell and piled up and turning it more and more into a world of gold.
And the roulette has chosen you and George. Give me for your day of release. Have any regrets?
I only regret not calling you a cunt!
Don't you? Receiving an engagement ring from the man you fell for. Then being killed before spending your first night together. That hardly counts as a regret at all, right? Wanted him to hold you, didn't you? Wanted him to teach you a woman's joy, right?
What is that laugh?
I am not doing that. Ah, no, no, Shannon, you're dribbling. See, regret is dribbling down from your mouth. I can see it dribbling down from your mouth, Shannon. Yeah.
Crack! It was the sound of the lid to the treasure box breaking open. When when George turned it over, accessories, charms, various small objects that Natsui had treasured when she was a girl fell out. Mixed in with that was a pouch that stood out from the rest. He picked it up and was immediately sure this was it. I found it! This is it! Fuck you, bitch!
Closer yet so far. I.
Damn it! All at once, the gold butterflies attacked George, who was hurriedly trying to remove the contents of the pouch. Well. At that time, a bright red flash seemed to light up the room for an instant. That red flash seemed to cut a hole in the cloud of gold butterflies raging around the room, drawing a circle with Shannon at the center. So the resulting scene looked truly divine, almost as though a single streak of light had cut through the clouds in this world of gold. George, who was curled in a ball like a pussy trying to protect himself from the group of butterflies, didn't have a clue what was going on. Damn. Then he noticed that Shannon was standing guard in front of him, shielding him, as she glared at the witch, and the rest with a serious face she'd never shown him before.
Forgotten. Well, I'd forgotten. Here's another sample of Kinzo's outstanding furniture. You've matured much more than Kanon. How could you... That's Kanon-kun. I don't mean killing him. Could you, if his remains, even try to disgrace his honor? Oh, now, Shannon. Is that why you're mad? You're lonely because Kanon hasn't been around. Just let me know. I'll let you see him whenever you like.
Hi! When the witch snapped her fingers, one of the 6 goat attendants glittered gold and changed to Cannon. It was definitely a sight to make one doubt their eyes. It was definitely Cannon's face. However, in those eyes, the glint of Cannon's integrity was nowhere to be seen. They were the hazy eyes of furniture that only obeyed the orders of the witch. George couldn't understand the scene right before his eyes, and he finally understood why Goda and the rest had been unable to talk about what they had seen in the servant room.
Enjoying this? Yes, I am. It's always fun to reunite a pair that have been torn apart by death. After all, I get to enjoy tearing them apart by death, uniting them and then tearing them apart again.
What I'm imagining is, are you enjoying this? Yes, I am. It's always fun to reunite a pair that has been torn apart by death. It's just fully muffled.
Done that. So, Kanon, go play with your sister. She knocks you about. Let her see you suffer with all the anguish you can manage.
From the imposter Cannon's arms, a strangely shining curve extended. He planned to tear Shannon apart with that. With a single stroke, he would attack Shannon, who still hadn't prepared her heart, and...
I won't forgive you. I'll never forgive you. Dishonoring the dead not just once, but twice. Enough babbling, go get killed by your brother, Shannon. I'm sure you'll bear witness to a wonderful dream.
She pulls out a gun. Like, oh my god! Like, she gets a magic shield and a magic gun. The imposter cannon certainly seemed to lunge at Shannon, drawing several purple curves. But when he flew at her, It was as though some kind of invisible wall had been placed in front of her. The wall repelled the imposter, leaving a bright red ripple on its surface. No, it didn't repel him, it smashed him. It knocked him back, turning him into golden dust, into little bits, scattering him. That foolish furniture who had taken Cannon's form, and even disgraced his honor after death, broke into countless gold butterflies. And then those butterflies themselves broke into pieces, and those pieces were broken into pieces, until they were no longer butterflies, but a golden splash that faded away. Shannon! What the fuck?
Your son, don't move from that spot. I want to shift the central axis.
What the fuck does that mean?
Well, this is such a surprise. So, though your face makes it as though you wouldn't hurt a fly, you display such power. See, so that spirit mirror is lending you strength. You don't have the tools or time to draw out its true power.
Shannon goes through like a magical girl transformation.
It won't let you have either of those.
The spirit mirror George gripped had let out a divine glow, displaying a strength powerful enough not to submit to wicked forces. But that glow was no match for the witch's sinister nature.
This is why furniture could be frightening. Feeling like unexpectedly stubbing your little toe on the corner of a cabinet. Yes, this is why furniture can be frightening. The furniture, furniture, furniture. Not furniture. Now you seem very pitiful to me. What did this furniture, who hasn't even lived 100 years, say to a 1,000-year-old witch?
1,000 years and you haven't even done anything useful in that time.
Sure.
What was that? What was that?
Hey, what if she invented sliced bread? And you don't know.
God, what was that post that's like, why are vampires always rich in media? And like, if you're not rich by the time you're 1,000, just walk into the sun, bro.
Also, if you're a vampire, you can be rich, and if you're a vampire, you're saving a lot of money by not eating regular food.
That is true.
So you can just sleep in a cave. You do need an address to get a job. So, yeah, maybe my theory, maybe that part is a little bit wrong.
Or,
Anyways,
you're a vampire. You can just do grift after grift, you know?
bro, that's just added danger on top of like the whole being a vampire thing. You're a very pitiful person. Of course, two people who fall in love will have regrets when they're separated. You'll feel none of the kind of regret you're hoping for. You dare to speak, furniture. You've forgotten the days when you were so desperate to be tied to George that you licked my shoes. Living with love and crawling through the muck is what humans do.
Sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties. Give me a second. Alright, we're finally back. Technical difficulties have
Living
been
with love and
solved.
crawling through.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No,
It's okay.
I said what I wanted to say.
What did you want to say?
I was just saying, like, technical difficulties have been solved.
Talk now. living with love and crawling through the muck is what humans do. Sneer and look down on them for that, far inferior to them. Especially now, I pity you. Precious is it for a loving couple when they bring their love to fruition by being together on their first night? It does have meaning, it definitely does. It's completely different from what you're saying. It means something so sacred that one such as you has no right to live it wickedly.
You are 16 and he is 23. What was that?
And also, she's talking to a 1,000-year-old.
Yeah, I don't know what happened or what you said that got cut off, but I just heard, like, a moan.
Oh no! It was just I think it was just some noise that my throat produced or something.
Okay. It really threw me off.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So I no longer have any regrets. George, San, and I have sworn our love to each other. Proof, I accepted his ring. That our eternal vows were completed. No matter how you torture us with your wicked magic and your malice, not disgrace eternity. Speak in cheap ideals like some poet.
Shannon does that entire monologue, and then it pans to Beatrice, and she just takes out a gun and just shoots her. Like, it's not magic.
It's takes out a gun.
Yeah, Bando just takes out a regular, non-magical gun and just shoots her.
Love is lust, totally meaningless unless you're sleeping together. And are mere flies and maggots that get drawn to your female scent and crowd around you. Scent. Do you still not understand that at your age?
She's 16!
With despair, the very first time you witnessed the dark lust of that glasses man behind you.
Glasses man?
The glasses man. Be crushed, shocked, dumbfounded, stupefied. It's all useless. Dun-dun. Yeah, there's enough talk out of you, you furniture. The hell do you think you are talking like that? No matter how beautiful you make me try to make love sound, in the end it's a fraud because love is filthy filth.
Gee, I forgot about this. Beatrice has gone through some shit. Oh my god.
People become adults when they realize that. You trash furniture scrap. Turn you into a filthy maggot, then we'll see whether that glasses guy still loves you.
George, would you still love me if I was a worm?
I'll show you that this guy's only had his eyes on your flesh.
Look. He's 23 and she's 16. I gotta say, I love Shannon. I think she's a sweet girl. There's no reason for that age gap where he doesn't fully see her as a person, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, considering the way his family treats servants.
Yeah. So, like, Beatrice isn't fully wrong.
You piece of crap. Tell me about love.
I know what love is. I love Battler! It's just completely silent. Everyone's like, huh? What? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
The invisible column of light with Shannon at the center started to have red ripples drawn all over it at once. The wall did its best to withstand the unseeable malice that tried to corrode in on them from all directions.
Do you actually think you're resisting? You're insignificant, you're frail, just like your cheap ideals, just a frail pretense. You're just hiding what you don't want to see by covering it with a veil. Do you still not understand? Your furniture, your furniture. See, it's being erased. Crunch, smack, snaps. How thin, how shameful. Parmigiano Reggiano would be harder to cut through than your frail resistance. Yeah.
God damn, I keep getting oh god! The white. I keep getting fucking flashbangs. God damn. The golden
Breaking
winds.
this down, skill issue.
The golden windstorm that covered the room gradually began to shave the walls off the column that protected Shannon and George. The bright red ripples frantically drew a resisting pattern, but that just turned it into a red wall of despair that began to wrap the two of them up. Oh my god!
Son, I'm sorry. Just too much. Me, after all.
Yeah, thank you! You thought for my sake. Sorry, my glasses are fogged up. I took a bit of a hit. I started hotboxing us in this little magical barricade thing. That alone makes me happy. Oh god!
Shannon got too high from secondhand smoke to
That's,
keep up the barrier.
yeah,
This is so sad.
the round wall
At
that
the
had
age
once
of 16,
at the age of 16, the round
underage
wall
smoking.
that had once protected them was assaulted and covered with a curve of bright red ripples that seemed to scream, and began to suck the two of them up instead. Oh god! Finally, they're dead! I can stop getting fucking flashbanged.
Son, can I ask a favor?
Shannon grasped George's hand behind her, so George hugged her shoulders just as strongly. What is it?
And please let me hear you say I love you.
Yeah! So, I will forever be. Oh god! Oh god! Okay. That was the hardest death to watch because I kept getting flashbanged and I had to cover my eyes. I'm in a
I
dark
think we should
room.
stop here.
Ah, we should. Damn it.
It's a
Damn
good
it.
place to end.
I know. I feel bad for I keep teasing the audience by being like, we're gonna finish it this episode, and then I keep lying to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, because
Ah,
you
fuck!
insist, and
Huh?
you insist, though.
In my defense, it keeps feeling like,
Even though I tell you it's not gonna happen.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Alright, settle back. Alright, so after going through what would have, if I was epileptic, would have sent me into a goddamn seizure, that is where we'll end it today. Thank you so much for joining us on Umineko. I need to stop being like, oh,
Thank
we're
you.
gonna finish this episode this time, because I keep being wrong.
Yeah,
I hope
we're
you'll
not
join
going
us.
to finish it next time either.
Yeah. I hope you'll join us next time. Bye for now.
Bye.